What's up YouTube, COD from NT20 here, and welcome back to Army of Heroes 2 online replay for Season 2. Anyway, be sure to check out Season 1 if you haven't seen any of those videos. There are 50 parts or episodes to that season, and I'm sure we'll get 50 parts on this season. Anyway, you can see I've gone with the Special Rifleman Company. This is one of the newer commanders. You could unlock this through War Spoils. I decided to buy it because I don't like the War Spoils very much. Basically, like, I played a lot since June 24th or whatever when this thing came out, 23rd, and I've gone one commander. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy these. Anyway, so that way I could show you guys more of these different commanders and everything. So you can see with the Rifleman Company, I do get Elite Rifleman Training, Rifleman Flares, Flamethrowers, White Phosphorus, and the awesome Easy 8, the heaviest American armor that they do have currently. No Pershings just yet. So I've talked about Rostov before, this face-off at Rostov. And I'm going to tell my allies here, you know, don't focus on the island so much. You got on this map, I kind of think it's a little unfair for my side because, well, it's an advantage on my side because we don't have to cross over any of these bridges or ice. So we don't have as many choke points. Anyway, you can see they're all over Commando West, and I got news for you. The Soviets counter the over Commando West quite nicely, actually, especially the early T-34s and machine guns. So you can see I'm getting a lot of riflemen out first. I do plan to buy the bars for them and then be able to upgrade them, but I do need the munitions. So basically the town is what you want to be focusing on this match. You have the munitions, especially for the Americans, you have the munitions and you have both fuels. So if you can like cut them off, like do a front line on the map down here from like this point on with both munitions, you'll be just set. And plus it's also territory. You can see bunch of numbers, Z9, we'll just call them that, as a Kuppelwagen. These guys have the nice little, it's a nice little scarf there on, well, I guess you call it a scarf, right? It's a nice scarf there. And I do my rifleman pushing up. I want to aggressively push this town. I'm just telling my allies shift right. You know, the island's on point as a victory point, but you know, you hold both the ones in the center and you'll be fine. So thankfully they actually listen. These guys were relatively newer players, 74 and 57, but then again, our opponents are pretty high also. In fact, Saturn is higher than me in rank in this game. Anyway, I do have the rear echelon troops helping to support my men here in this fight with their carbines. They are pretty weak though, and I'm going to be using these guys to build some fighting positions a little bit later, at least attempt to build a fighting position. So you can see this guy, Saturn, he's going to start spamming the, well, he's going to put his half-track right here. Kind of make a very forward base. He's the same idea as I do. He's probably played this map before. You have to have kind of like a forward base. Okay, you can see the Kuppelwagen is getting, you know, I brought my men up to help support there in this kind of heavy cover. Kuppelwagen can only face one of us at a time. And the Maxim, you know, just took out the Kuppelwagen there. So I did help my ally out. And you can see I kind of like this spot. Your men are kind of, my men are, well, this guy's actually in the ground there in the snow, buried up to his waist, but it's a decent spot. I think it should be heavy cover instead of light cover. You can see this guy does have a lot of Volkskraniers, and he is putting down his truck here. Well, I have captured the victory point. I want my riflemen to help on this side. Anyway, I'm starting to see through the fog of war, I'm starting to see a lot of units here, so I'm going to hop into this house here, which does have 3 windows, so I can start taking some shots at these Volkskraniers. Volkskraniers are not going to beat American riflemen one-on-one. But keep in mind, he does have the Storm Pioneers, which do, you know, a decent amount. You know, they're pretty deadly. I'm about to get flanked here, but thankfully the MG's in this house, and will cover my flank there. I've not brought up any of my rear echelon troops here. I just want to kind of have them protect that. In fact, I'm focusing on my riflemen, making sure I don't get them killed, especially these guys in the house here. So you can see I'm going to withdraw out of the house here. And even though I'm going to try to not, I could lose this unit if I'm not careful, but I think I can get him back. So I'm going to get him back, and I have an ambulance being built, and I'm going to try to reinforce the front lines here. This is just a way to keep pressure on my opponent by having a lot of men. You can see he's doing the same thing, basically. He's going to be reinforcing off of his medical truck and healing up his men. So I can sustain this. Look at that. I was wondering why my men were shooting over here. So you can see he's going to start falling back, but, you know, once I see these units start to reinforce, I'm going to be like, he must have a truck running here. Even though I can't see it, you know, I'm starting to see 5 men and then I'm gonna try to wipe out that unit there. The 2-man Volks Grenadier squad. You can see the island is lost. You can see how you can basically see how I see more and more men popping out of that unit I'm trying to kill. So this is just, I can't sustain this fight at this point, so I'm gonna have to fall back. So my vets here are gonna get out of there. And I gotta pull these guys back also. I'm gonna retreat completely off the front line. I don't like to do that. I'm just gonna retreat back to here, and my ambulance is coming up now. So he's temporarily won this fight with his 3 Grens. Volks Grens. You can see the medics are kind of hiding by the fuel, which is not the safest spot for a medic to be hiding. Yeah. Anyway, you can see they are building Volks Grens with anti-tank. And, you know, this is kind of a waste. This guy, you know, with his Storm Pioneers, he's going to try to charge the base. Like, is he not really? We have machine guns here. I think this is my machine gun. I think it's kind of weird how the Americans have machine guns. Like, but they have them on their base, right? But they also have them. Like, I have machine guns here, but I have them also here, which is kind of cool. And they're going to try to get behind the lines, but the mobile strike force with the half-track should deal them quite a big blow. I started building this, and I was upgrading, and that cost me 60 munitions. But once I saw the Panzer, you know, they're throwing grenades, and I mean, these are great. These Panzer Shreks are great for getting rid of emplacements. I'm going to cancel this building here because it's going to get blown up, and I don't want to, I mean, it's going to be blown up way before the research can take place, the upgrade. So I'm going to cancel that. I got my munitions back, which is very important because I'm starting to upgrade my men, or will be upgrading shortly. You can see I am reinforcing and upgrading my men with flamethrowers and healing them up. So this is a good, you know, forward front line. Keep in mind, you can only reinforce on your own territory. So if I were just over this red line, I couldn't reinforce. It makes sense. It's kind of fair that way. Half tracks are a little different. German half tracks, but like he can only place trucks in his own territory. See, my allies kind of, you know, pushing up confidently. He's a machine gun. He's covering the bridge. That's why I was saying this map's a little unbalanced with the bridges and the crossings here. Anyway, the Kupelwagens are a good idea. But I saw this flak half track, and I'm like, oh my goodness, hope he has AT, and he does, which is good. As you can see, I am pushing, and he's going to fall back with my superior numbers. We're going to start manning the various trenches along here and going to... Well, you can see our men are pretty cold because it is, you know, pretty cold in Russia. This is on the Black Sea. This I was reading about that in the description here. This guy's a little warmer by the fire. He's aiming his gun. We do have flamethrowers, so we'll warm up the Germans. That's for sure. Maybe we won't like this being warmed up. You can see, yeah. Whenever you see an AT gun, get the Kupelwagen back. You can see it's good that he's flanking around. He's flanking the machine gun. But I guess guys, he didn't hit the dirt for these men. Let's just see what his doctor is really quickly. Yeah, he had hit the dirt for his conscript support tactics. So he lost his MG and he lost his AT there. It's not good to hand over AT. Well, it's really bad to hand over machine guns, first of all, to the Germans, the Oberkommando West, because they don't really have machine guns unless it's in their doctrine. And you can see I'm going to push up. I know he's going to be reinforcing. There's no point in me attacking his base right now until I get a tank or something to help me. Because he's just going to pull. I can't kill him fast enough without them reinforcing. You know, some of the white phosphorus is good. You can see we do have a lot of fuel. This guy, Jiff Man, built 2 fuel carriers. I'm going to build my own shortly. And we'll be taking a lot of fuel. We're just keeping this match competitive. We just have shock troops. Shock troops are very good against most of the Oberkommando West's infantry. I mean, even the, you can see he's trying to hit his men. You know, you can even see that even Panzer Fusiliers with Wehr packages aren't that great against shock troops, unless, especially up close. Well, that makes sense, right? But shock troops just have a lot of armor. Anyway, you can see I'm going to push in with our flamethrower. Flamethrowers are more used on the Pacific Front, I like to think. Especially to take the Japanese out of their bunkers. They're throwing grenades at me. That is extremely smart. Try to throw grenades at guys with flamethrowers. It will cause the flamethrower to explode and killing several men around it often. That's the danger of flamethrowers. You know, I was capturing their field there, and they put up a machine gun. And I wish I had grenades at this point, but I'm just going right for that Sherman. And you can see I'm floating a little bit of manpower. That's not a problem. He's withdrawing. You know, this is a good player. He's withdrawing in plenty of time. He's not losing any units. And I'm assuming he probably did a forward command post up here. The forward retreat point. Yep, he researched the retreat point. As you can see, I'm feeling pretty good with my allies right here. Bet 3 shock troops of flamethrowers. 2 friendlies killed though. That's not good. You know, you can see they're pushing up with half tracks and Kupelwagens and just a lot of dead light vehicles. That's 2 Kupelwagens right there. That's a flak half track. There's a scout car for the Soviets. This map, whatever side you're on, you have to control these buildings, or just okay. If you're coming from their side, right, you wanna be able to definitely have these 2 buildings under control, because that way you can put some machine guns here. But if you can hold this flank and basically just cut them off down to here, go up to their field. Like if you just hold this northern part of the town, you'll be fine. Problem is when they get fortified with their, it should be that's a machine gun there. Anyway, so just make sure you hold those the center of the map, and you hold some of those houses, or you will regret it. I'm gonna start throwing grenades in. I think it's gonna target these guys. I preemptively move them. Fortunately, we're starting the lieutenant, so I'm just gonna fall back my lieutenant in good order. I can't retreat him. Well, I could retreat him, but I just want to get him back to the car here, the ambulance, to get healed. These guys are flaming them, and that machine gun is suppressing my men, so I have to fall back. Let's do, unfortunately, a hard retreat. Anyway, you can see 92nd. Oh, yeah, and by the way, a T-34 will kill your flak half tracks, and those are quite a lot. You can see they've set up over here, way back at base. Yeah, my lieutenant's in heavy cover, and he's gonna start killing some of these men with his 2 bars. You can see my infantry. I retreated them back. The ones that got retreated, I started giving them bars back at base because I'm getting plenty of munitions. And I sent my captain, my major, just to take a little look around. And yeah, there's a lot of troops there. So I pointed to my allies. Overall, if they had a half track up here, they could reinforce and keep their men alive. But this machine gun struggling lost. So my allies are starting to lose the center. And I'm fighting against, there's a machine gun here and there's other troops. So it's going to be a little hard for me. I do have a Sherman though, which I did bring in here. And you can see that Sherman just wiped out 4 men that were grouped up. My goal is to get rid of that Volksgrenadier. But, if we can kill these 2 squads, that'd be great. We even have, whenever you see a unit that low, especially with the 90 munitions, you should definitely target that unit. And he's even got flamethrowers coming to assist, so they should. I did manage to get rid of that unit. They're down. No, he's not going to try to kill retreating units. It's unfortunate. High explosive shells. Remember, the high explosive shells are great against infantry, but cannot hit anything with armor. You got to switch over. It takes 6 seconds, and that can be pretty deadly. Sorry, man. I don't want to. I kind of forgot there's a machine gun up here, so you can see me charge in a second, like right now. And unfortunately, we don't have grenades, so we can't launch the smoke screen, which is very effective. But you can see, I'm going to try to, those guys don't have a ton of health, and they just get destroyed by the Sherman, so it's important to have a Sherman out before he does. However, what I don't know is that he's upgrading all those guys with the anti-tank. And he even has anti-tank over there that I'm seeing they're starting to move over. I'm like, oh yeah, that's some anti-tank. So the MG can't see me, which is good. Just gotta get these guys in the open. I want to pull back a little bit. I want to intercept these guys with infantry because frankly they're not very good infantry. They're potential frontline infantry. That's what it says down here. You can see this is what I want. I want all these AT guys to start moving up and fighting against my guys. If I had light machine guns, I do have the bars, which is considered light machine gun, right? But if I had like the Brownings, that would have been excellent. I have my tank providing cover fire. He has taken, the high explosive shells. I did lose my rifleman squad, vet 2, unfortunately there. I have more men. They're going to start coming back up. Actually, I have 2 men at. I have 1 squad at base I need to bring back up. I have these guys coming up. My lieutenant got a little excited. You can see high explosive, you gotta love it. And it's only 110 fuel. I really want to wipe that squad out. Do I get them? They fall back. You can see the lights turn on when it's in the blizzard. That's awesome. So you can see he is just healing up his men pretty much. My goal is if I can get some armor. It's interesting how when you kill the guy, first of all, it injures his health a lot with that high explosive shell. It's interesting if that he knows I'm basically going to try to take out his command post up here. If I do that, he's pretty much done. I mean, he's not done, right? But it's going to take him a little while. And we're taking their fuel. The Soviet light, what was called the Soviet Light Response Force. If I can get some eyes on this, I could launch a white phosphorus, and how grouped up his men are. The problem is there's 3 units of these highly veteran Volksgrenadiers that he's going after, and the reinforcing and healing. So I am taking this. Unfortunately, I will pick up that bar. I do not like leaving my heavy weapons around for the enemy to pick up. That's like a very good prize for your Volksgrenadiers, to pick up one of those bars. It makes them pretty effective. Or shock troops. Did they pick those up? Very good. And you can see that kind of light recon force. He only has one window to pin down all these units. He should really just get out of here. He saw all his men almost get killed by those machine guns. He saw all his men get killed by the Volks pretty much with those bazookas. German equivalent, the Panzer. They just blew up that guy there. So Jiffy Man is still kind of new. He went you'd never really make 2 T-70s. And they're going to try to intercept here. So my allies are not... It was good he tried to assist there, but he should really just retreat this man. He's by himself. And there's a Puma there. So they've left a lot of stuff around. The Oberkommando West took advantage of the machine guns and the ATs. I mean, this match definitely would have gone different. So far, it's pretty even. But here's where I'm focused firing on these guys. I'm going to take some casualties, but I feel like I can actually kill these units faster than they can actually hit me with the rockets. You can see though, just the machine guns, the 50 cals, the Coxwell machine guns, and the high explosive shells are just causing utter chaos. So he's lost a lot of men, and I haven't lost a single Sherman yet. I'm gonna pull back slightly. I do have my rear echelon troops out repair, which is good. I'm trying to get some eyes on this just to kind of... One, I know I'm not going to kill anything, but look how fast this unit just got killed. I'm not sure if these guys are stuck here. They kind of look stuck. So you got to be a little careful. I would put my truck like here, not necessarily right here. These guys might be stuck. They kind of look stuck. Oh, look, there's a dead guy right at base. So I see that he's, marching up again. I do have some more infantry, but, they're reinforcing here also. So I'm going to fall back again. But I love these high switches. I don't know if you guys can tell. They are awesome. Gotta love the high switch shells. They're very good. The Shermans are great against the infantry. While, and look at that. The Soviets launched the incendiary barrage trying to kill the men, and they managed to wipe out one squad. Which is not bad indeed. I do appreciate my help from my allies here, because they've lost the center. This guy's using the fortifications doctrine because the Volksgrens do not build bunkers normally. Anyway, you can see I'm kind of creeping up here. I do want to launch a white phosphorus on these guys. I'm going to pull back because I don't want to lose any of my men. These guys look stuck. I guess maybe they're just hiding there. He's going to hide in the building, I bet. I should have done that when he was retreating. That would have helped. Yeah, you can see he's kind of falling back. I forced him back from his base. And we also have an Easy 8. This is one of the new Shermans. It's pretty deadly, actually. Pretty decent indeed. Probably your best shot at countering any of the heavy armor. It does have a great gun on it. And you can see my infantry helping to kind of block off and attack any of these Volksgrens with their bazookas, their Panzer Schrecks. And my tank's going to try to destroy this base. I want to overwhelm them. I don't want to reinforce. I'm just going to throw all my men in here. I have some grenades now, so I'm going to start tossing them. And he can't reinforce fast enough. And that grenade with his men all clumped up. Should have killed more men. He's trying to repair. Units are getting completely wiped out. And he lost his truck. So let's just go to him really quickly. He has nothing. Not a single unit. So yeah, literally that guy got wiped out. He's building a Panther though. But he hadn't... Yep, he totally got wiped out. I knew I wiped him out completely because he lost like 6 units over here. And now I can start capturing the munitions, which will help out, and I'm going to take their fuel away. Over Commando West already don't get a lot of fuel, so to take away their fuel is, you know, devastating. They only have 19 fuel right now, and that's going to go down significantly. It's going to go down to 12. Because we have map control right now. Map control is very important. I do agree with the new maps, well, where they, basically before the update, well, I guess before the DLC, the points were just points to connect stuff, and they actually give you a little bit of fuel and a little bit of munitions. So it rewards players for having good map control. You know, you can see the Puma. Puma's okay. I don't really use him too much myself. But you can see he's trying to fortify bunkers. He has these, you know, bunkers facing this way and one facing this way. He knows I'm probably going to attack him. I'm just repairing my tanks quickly. Repairing my easy and I'm getting my infantry ready after we've captured this point. Because I think it's going to be a little while before that guy comes back. And we have a Panther over here. Look at that T-34. This T-34 has seen its better days. Doesn't even have a gun. That looks so funny. It's like the gun's kind of broken. Now I do have a strong armored force. He does have this, you know, ready to attack my tanks. But I'm getting ready for an assault here. I want my infantry to, you know, come along. I gotta be careful not to blob up. So I'm gonna like send half my force this way, and 2 squads this way, and 2 squads that way, dividing my 4 squads. And I'm going to let these guys take up the center because I want to just quickly heal them before I send them back into combat here. Since we do not have any bars yet, you can see I'm healing them up. And get another easy 8. And I am. I'm like, why not 4 tanks? These guys have no fuel anyway, right? And the reason that guy has no fuel is because it's a Panther. So here comes my grand assault. Keep in mind we do have regular rounds here. I'm just going to get behind him. And with the, I'm getting suppressed by this bunker, but he's just going to pull back there. And I'm going to try to, you know, wipe out the retreating units there. I do manage to get the Storm Pioneers, but not the Volksgren. So I just have to destroy this bunker here. I'm just going to completely collapse their center and allow my allies to push up because they don't have the tools right now to be able to take out these bunkers. You can see the Puma's going to get away. Not too worried about the Puma. But then it starts hitting my rear armor of my tank. I'm like, okay. So that became a target. You should have backed off. You know, it is doing some damage to rear armor and side armor of Sherman's, but it's just... It's not a tank. Don't try to use it like a tank. So you can see he's rebuilt his Volks force. He's trying to get some, you know, victory points here. So you can see a lot of dead Soviets. But he did lose his Panther. That is a devastating loss. Because he just has his infantry now, and you know, this guy's pretty devastated. You can see actually there's a lot of... Expecting a Stuka Sufus at some point here, but they don't really have the fuel. You know, this is kind of like... It's kind of like the Battle of the Rhine. Well, we're not to that part yet of the map, but match. You know, you can see the awesome Easy 8. You can see it has a much bigger gun compared to the Sherman, and does a lot more damage. 76mm main gun. Now you can see right now we're having a nice little repair party. You know, your men automatically help repair other tanks. Like, that's awesome if you take them out. And then one of you guys were saying in the last video, or the last 1 or 2 videos here, that you can actually, if you're a crew's veteran, you can put them in a better tank and get that crew veteran. And that is not a bad idea. I'm going to try that with this vet. I'm going to move one of the crews into the Easy 8. As you can see, this vet 3 crew is going to hop in here and give that a veterancy. I like that, increasing output. So you can kind of say I'm getting ready to assault the Rhine here. It is winter though, so we do have a nice little bridge. We're definitely not going to go over. I'm going to send my infantry in first, to you know, don't want to run right into a bunch of Volkskrans. For all I know, you know, I think that maybe Saturno has a bunch of Volkskrans with Panzerschrecks again. You can see he's trying to construct a bunker here to stop me. That is your defensive doctrine for Z9, but he's gonna hop in, and I have grenades. Gotta be very careful when you hop into a bunker, because grenades will literally kill you. And I have my tanks here, so my goal is to overrun his position now with all his headquarters, and that'd be very good. You can see he's building a Pack 43, which I can't see obviously through fog of war. And we're gonna have a tragedy with one of my Shermans here in a little bit. So we've crossed the Rhine, which is basically this river here, and we're now into the heart of Germany. And we're moving in with our Shermans. I feel like padding with all these Shermans. It's awesome. So I'm gonna destroy his headquarters. This will, if I can destroy this one, it's 80 fuel. He cannot recover from that and can't make any more tanks. So he's gonna start. One of them at that point, it's a good game because one of them's trying to surrender. So I'm getting hit from something, and I'm wondering like what the hell is hitting me. So you can see the highest level player just quit. So these bases are almost destroyed, but I gotta figure out what the hell was hitting me. So I'm gonna pull up here, just to the edge of the map, and start repairing. And I called white phosphorus. I thought like maybe a Panzer Volksgrenadier was around or something. I didn't recognize the Pack 43 just yet. Until it fired. I mean, if you see that on the flag of war, like, you know there's a pack there. So I'm gonna move in. Just want to finish off these plays. Even if I do lose a Sherman, it will just guarantee us a win in the game. Now that guy was vet too, and he is out of control. I am gonna back off here. I'm gonna be launching smoke with multiple tanks. And he stopped for some reason while I was launching the smoke. So I'm gonna launch smoke right onto this position. Just make it hard for the pack to see me. And I got news for you. The infantry is going to go take out this pack. It is getting a lot of shots. It almost killed another tank of mine. As you can see, these Stormbinders are actually fighting pretty heroically. They're going to die, though. And my ally calls an incendiary barrage when I had this. You know, this thing would have been dead in a second, but he called the incendiary barrage. It's actually killed some of my own men. Talk about friendly fire. And now I can't move in. So that was something. So that was a little bit of a mistake there. Like, don't call incendiary barrage on your ally. Common sense. I know you can see I'm repairing my tanks here. I'm going to grab another Easy 8. So you can see Z9 is destroyed. This guy's pretty much had to rebuild everything and has no more fuel left. And my allies are having fun taking out the Overcommando West base here. You see that? That truck's now gone. It's definitely fun. It kind of felt like an annihilation game. I'm actually going to, the last thing there, I'm going to try to man this and start firing at that, but it was too late. Hope you guys enjoyed here the kills and deaths for our team. You can see I had 126 kills, only 57 men lost. That's the least amount out of all my teammates here. My infantry did very well in this match. Lead Rifleman Doctrine's great, especially the flamethrowers. I didn't use any of the flares, but the Easy 8s, the Veteran Riflemen, and the White Phosphors are awesome. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Conforming 221, signing off.